Our mayor is here, Mr. Steve Trammell. Thank you so much. And Ronnie Carter is a frequent visitor here next to the mayor. We've got several council members. We've got Gerald Ledbetter that you've already heard from, Gloria Marshall, Kevin Patrick, Joel Finley. Did I miss anyone else? I can't believe it. I got everyone. And these are my guests. Thank you.
Happy Dollar?
I got a guest too. We've got Mr. Kalpesh Bandari here joining us. He will be a member.
All right.
We've talked him into it.
Any other guests? We're going to step in about it. Okay. All right, Happy Dollar? Bill's happy.
Come
Tech
on,
is
Bill.
still winning.
I'm happy
Don't
dog.
remember the 17 week beef for Brady's at some point.
At some point, when it opens, we'll get to go there.
I'm happy dog. Over one last week. I'm very happy.
All right, anything else? Okay, Joe?
Well, we've got a record amount of money right here in the pot, for us. And you may be hard pressed whether you're gonna give it up to the club this week or not. But we got nearly $40, I believe, so.
Wow.
So anyway, I'm gonna pull one out of here. I've been shaking them up, and the pot is fully loaded by our guest speakers, so we'll see if they win or not. All right, here's the ticket right here, and the winning ticket is, last numbers are 1, 2, 3. Very simple, 1, 2, 3. Who's got the win? Oh, that's the winning man right there.
You both in the club, keep this.
Okay. Whoa, thank you.
We
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
I know we have a lot of guests here today, but I did want to bring up something. This is for my fellow Rotarians. Myself and the Terry Kelly Group, Quebec Properties, and Kalpesh with Crown Homes, we are going to be doing a food giveaway in the month of November. And I would like to ask if anybody would like to donate to that, and I would especially like to ask the Rotarians for a $500 donation. We'll pack the food in our office, as we know a lot of people are going to be without benefits next month and be struggling a little bit. So we're all going to do $500 a piece. I think that'll give us a nice healthy pie, maybe a little bit more. Would the Rotarians be okay with a $500 donation for giving food?
I make that motion.
From the club?
From the club? Yes, sir. We good?
Yes.
Yes? Thank you guys.
All right. Wonderful.
Thank you, Terry.
All right.
Anything else? I'm addressing my Rotary friends. Next week, I've got we've got Veterans Day coming up. And I'm going to try to do a veterans program. I'm going to try to bring in 4 veterans that I know. One of them is a 11-year Marine. One of them did 4 tours of duty in Afghanistan. One of them's was a Vietnam vet. And the other boy, I think, he was also in Afghanistan. Now, we're going to have to be patient with these guys, because a couple of them have gotten some issues, and I just want to. And I think it'll go smooth. You probably wouldn't have known it if I hadn't told you, but there is some issues involved, especially with one of them. So I'm just letting you know about that. And the 2 of them are working on a project at Auburn where they bring in horses, Mustang horses, wild horses, and they tame them, they sell them. And I think they're connected with the Church of the Highland down here in Auburn. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to forewarn you on that, and hopefully everything goes smooth, and I think it will. Thank y'all.
All right, Joe, you ready to announce your guest?
Well, you forewarned about your thing, and I'm going to forewarn about the program. We've got 2 brothers here. We've got John and Michael Bowen. And and they are hotel developers, and their company is called the Premier Hotel Corporation. Premier sounds pretty high. They have been working with our West Point Development Authority to bring a hotel, help us develop a hotel in West Point, and they are here. They said they're prepared to answer questions. They don't mind questions, and they're going to introduce themselves. So thank you. Let's give them a hand.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Downs, for that introduction. Thank you to the club for hosting us. John Bowen, Vice President and Chief Development Officer of Premier Hotel Corporation.
Michael Bowen, Vice President and Chief Financial Officer.
We are from Tifton, Georgia, and what we were hoping to accomplish today was really to walk through an executive summary of this project out at East 10th Street, introduce ourselves, and then, generally speaking, have a conversation with the community about the project, who we are, where the project has been, where it's going, and just have an open and friendly and casual discourse about this exciting development situation at Kia Boulevard and East 10th Street. So we've got an executive summary prepared, and we'll kind of walk through it slide by slide, and along the way let's just stop and talk about any questions or talk about any aspects of the project that maybe merit further discussion. Now, in advance of an introduction, we have been on the ground in West Point for about 2 years now, and we've really kind of dug into the community, its history, its profile, and just want to know who West Point is and where it's been. So I brought a couple of quick notes that I want to go over. This is a little segment called "How Well Do You Know West Point?" So I've got a couple of little trivia questions here. If you know the answer, raise your hand, shout it out loud. But these are things that we've learned in our 2 years of being on the ground. So let's start off with the city of West Point itself. Who can tell me the original name of West Point? Franklin. Perfect. Great. Who knows when that name was bestowed upon the community? Does anybody remember the year? Oh, y'all are all over it. It's going to be tough. Yeah, the day after Christmas, 1831. Who knows how long it stayed Franklin, Georgia?
2 years.
Not quite 1 year. December, the day before Christmas, 1832, it was, of course, changed to West Point, Georgia. For what reason? Does anybody remember?
There was already a railroad. It's the West Point of the Chattahoochee River.
All true. There was already a Franklin in Heard County, which is the county seat, and it was causing so much confusion with the mail. They just said, "Well, we got to do something different than this. We can come up with something else besides two Franklins." So we got West Point. West Point Lake. How many visitors does the Army Corps of Engineers project visit West Point Lake on an annual basis? All over it, 2.2 million. How many of those camp on an overnight basis? It surprised me. This is a pretty incredible number.
30,000.
Keep going. Keep going. 225,000 people spend the night, camp overnight at West Point Lake, which is just astounding to me. We all know the typical stats, 525 miles of shoreline, 30,000 acres of forest and fields that surround the lake itself. So all that's pretty straightforward, but the visitor number was huge. The camper number was also huge. Point University. How many varsity teams does Point University now field in collegiate athletics?
19 men and women's sports. They've dropped a few.
It did. It was recently 19, and it's down to 13. That's how many varsity teams they now field. What percentage of the student population is involved in the Elevate program, which of course is something that Chick-fil-A and a number of other corporations participate in?
50%.
They say, Point University says it's around 50%. Around half of the student population is enrolled in Point University through the Elevate program, which of course provides a free college tuition that's paid for by the employer. So you know West Point pretty well. I give you that. Those are fun stats that we've learned over our 2 years of being on the ground. But let's just start there. So, Premier Hotel Corporation, formed in 1996. Our father, Bill Bowen, got into the business in 1973 as a 22-year-old working as the right-hand man for Cecil B. Day. They were both from Effingham County. Mr. Day's father was a circuit preacher who traveled around the countryside offering sermons on Sundays. So 1973, Bill Bowen is a 22-year-old, seeks out Cecil B. Day. Mr. Day brings him in. At that point, Mr. Day was trying to develop a brand that could go head-to-head with the only other middle-market lodging product at the time, which was Holiday Inn. So Cecil B. Day brings in Bill Bowen. Days Inn is really in its infancy. Over the course of the next 11 years or so, Dad helps Mr. Day develop about 110 or so Days Inns across the southeast and up the eastern seaboard. In 1984, upon the passing wish of Mr. Day, Dad and the other executives helped take Days Inn public. 1996, Bill Bowen forms Premier Hotel Corporation out of Tifton, Georgia, grows it to a portfolio of 28 properties that include hotels that we developed, we co-owned with partners, and also properties that we manage on behalf of third-party owners. So if a doctor or a Coca-Cola bottling family owned a hotel but didn't want to operate it, they would bring in Premier Hotel Corporation and we would manage that property for them. And we still do that to this day. We develop, own, and operate our own properties, and we also manage on behalf of other owners throughout the Southeast. Got a call about 2 years ago from a colleague in Atlanta. He said, "What do you know about West Point, Georgia?" We said, "We don't know anything about West Point, Georgia." He said, "Well, I've just been there, and I think you guys ought to drive over from Tifton and just meet me and take a look at the community. Not only is it a fine community, but it also appears to be a community that could benefit from some new lodging." So we said, great. So we came over, immediately recognized the huge lodging potential in the immediate marketplace. Of course, you've got LaGrange, Lynette, Opelika. We said West Point itself definitely could support some sort of lodging product. What that should be, we're not quite sure yet. Where that should be, we're not sure yet. But we were on the ground. We searched the marketplace, found a piece of land, put it under contract, started having conversations with local stakeholders like the mayor, the West Point Development Authority. We said, here's who we are. We think West Point needs a hotel. We've got a piece of land under contract, but we'll tell you this right now. That old building on East 10th Street, we think it's an old Coca-Cola facility. That site, that is really where you should put a hotel. If a hotel is to go in West Point, it needs to go on that site. They said, well great, we'll let you know if anything ever happens with that site. Early in 2024, we get a call from Megan Richardson and the authority, and she said, be careful what you wish for, because we are now in control of that site. And we agree with you. We think that a hotel in West Point should go on that site. The Development Authority decides to organize a competitive request for proposals process, an RFP process. Premier said, we definitely want to participate in the RFP because we want to be in West Point. We see the potential. So across the spring and early summer of 2024, we present our proposal, the authority considers it, we have phone calls and meetings, and we're ultimately selected to be the developer of a hotel at 1700 East 10th Street. So for the last year, it's been an exercise in planning exactly how that site, which is about 13 acres, how it should be master planned and ultimately developed in order to maximize the useful acreage of the land and also to fill all of these needs that are currently in the marketplace. So a year later, and maybe 4 or 5 iterations of site plans later, we've come up with this master site plan, which envisions 4.5 acres of the 13-acre site being developed into a mixed-use center. that would be anchored by a hotel and then complemented by a full-service restaurant at 10th Street, and what we're calling a multi-tenant facility, which is labeled retail plus QSR. So imagine 3 or 4 bays, maybe a retail, salon, shoe store, that kind of thing. And on the end cap, we envision drive-through service. So you've got the hotel that anchors it, a multi-tenant facility with drive-through capacity, and a full-service restaurant site. We've all agreed that that's the plan for East 10th Street. Yes, ma'am.
Did you guys develop the entire thing?
It's a great question. Premier's role, and I think you can go to the next slide, Mike.
Alrighty.
You can stick around there.
Okay.
So Premier's role, we were selected as the developer of the hotel site. After consultation with the authority and numerous global brands, we determined that a Fairfield Inn and Suites by Marriott made the most sense for this marketplace and this site specifically, for reasons that we could get into. But Premier Hotel Corporation is acting as the developer of the select service hotel that will anchor this center. Now, fortunately, we've been in this business for 30 years almost. We've developed lots and lots of contacts throughout the restaurant and retail industries. So everybody from your Olive Garden to Longhorn, Cheddar's, Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, Hardee's, Huddle House, IHOP. We have relationships with all of those brands. So what we'd love to do is work with the authority, get underway with the hotel, and then call up all of our contacts and say, all right, this is a real situation. There's activity on site. We want you to meet us and come take a look at this marketplace and these sites. So we're going to be the developer of the hotel, but we hope that we can add value across the whole project. And in terms of being a developer, a good question would be, what does that mean exactly? That's kind of an easy, amorphous word to throw around. As the developer, we're going to serve as the point guard and as the QB of the hotel project. We've identified a franchise, that's Fairfield Inn and Suites by Marriott. We've personally secured a franchise agreement or the right to develop a Fairfield Inn and Suites. We've personally guaranteed to Marriott that we're going to make that happen under certain terms and rules. We've identified a general contractor, an architect, a legal team, a civil engineer. We've identified all of the different players that you need to bring the different pieces of the puzzle together and to lead the project from concept to an operating property. So that's what we as the developer are going to do. We're playing quarterback, bringing all the different teammates together, and we're going to execute a play. And at the end of the day, we will serve as the Marriott approved operator of the property on behalf of an ownership entity that will include investors. We will be an investor. There will be outside investors. That entity will own the hotel, and we will operate the hotel on behalf of that entity. So there's the general outline of the project, who we are, what we're going to do to make it happen, and then what we'll be doing after the building is open and operating.
Next one's the timeline. You want that?
Sure, absolutely. Project timeline. We started in September 2023. PHC puts boots on the ground. We got through a year of master planning. Now we're through the planning portion. We know exactly how the project should be executed. So when is the project executed? Along what sort of timeline? We are targeting by the end of this month, which is tomorrow. In reality, it'll stretch out about another 2 or 3 weeks. But the Q4, fall of 2025, we're going to be organizing all the capital necessary to build the hotel, to construct it, to finance its development. That includes bringing in a construction lender, a bank or a fund. It also includes bringing in investors to come in alongside Premier Hotel Corporation and contribute to an ownership entity and provide equity needed to get the building open and operating. So you've got a loan and you've got equity. Across This fourth quarter, we'll be securing the loan, and then we'll be bringing in investors to join PHC in capitalizing the project. We will then commission architectural drawings, civil engineering plans. Those will take about 3 months to produce. February, we'll submit all those plans to people like Marriott, local permitting authorities, including the city of West Point. Those will go through review and revision. April 15th, once the bank sees that we have permitted plans, they'll then say, all right, we're ready to release our $15 million. You guys get started. We'll have all the equity in place. So May 1st, the bank has released its money. We've got plans and drawings that are permitted, and we put shovels in the dirt and we break ground. From there, we're projecting about a 16-month construction period, which puts us at a September 2027 grand opening. The next couple slides are just different renderings and perspectives on the project, but we think they're valuable. And for context, this executive summary, this is a document that we use when we go out into the marketplace and talk to banks, talk to prospective investors, people that have never heard of West Point. We have to give them every bit of information we can in a concise, clean format so that they can say, okay, we understand the opportunity, and yes, we do want to place money in this opportunity. So throughout the summary, you're going to see things that may seem redundant. We already know that about West Point. The people who receive this on a daily basis don't know West Point, and we need for them to know that. So we need as many visuals as we can. We've got another perspective here showing the hotel, the full-service restaurant, and then the multi-tenant facility with drive-through capacity.
Yeah, so actually, let's flip back if we can real quick. Yeah, actually, so if you kind of look at this perspective, that largest building in the bottom corresponds, of course, with the tallest and
Stick
largest.
to that bird's eye for 1 second.
Right here? Okay.
Yeah. Of course, Kia Parkway dumping into East 10th Street, QSR, the full-service restaurant, and then the hotel. All right.
Will this project have a wow factor to people heading down the interstate toward Alabama? Where you said go, wow.
Well, we think so.
What you'd like to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, we think so. Particularly in the context of it being a mixed-use project. You know, you drive down the interstate all the time and you see a parking lot and you see a box that is a hotel. The idea here, in obviously consultation with the Development Authority, was to create an environment that would make you say, wow, that is something different. That's a place that I just want to stop and visit for a while, get out of my car, stretch my legs. I'm not just on blacktop. I've got some green space. I've got things to do other than eat. I can do a little shopping. I can spend the night. We're going to develop a dog park alongside the hotel, which we have found. We developed a Hampton Inn on I-75 in Adel, Georgia years ago. People would stop in Adel, Georgia, as opposed to Valdosta or Macon. They would come all the way to Adel just because of that dog park. They were on the way from Michigan or, you know.
So you will be pet friendly.
We will be pet friendly.
What's that?
112. Yeah.
Pickleball court. I don't want to steal your thunder. I mean, that may be coming up in another slide.
So great question. Yeah, we hope there's going to be a wow factor. This is a discussion, so if anybody can think of like how to make it more wow, then you know we're open to ideas.
So what kind of restaurant do you envision would go in?
In the full service restaurant, on the full service restaurant parcel.
I would say just kind of as a visual, think of things like Bonefish Grill, Carrabba's, the Italian restaurants, where this mid-tier, yet fine dining, but accessible fine dining. We have a couple other concepts, of course, but that would be like pretty good.
Yeah, Cheddar's would be.
Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen would be a good example.
Olive Garden would probably take a look at it.
Like the chip.
Olive Garden would be nice.
This, honest to goodness, this is why we love these kinds of conversations because you know where do we start? What do you live here or you know? If you leave West Point to go eat somewhere, where do you go? Is it the Longhorn? Is it the?
Or Columbia.
It's not quite a distance in order to get to some of the more restaurant chains.
Right. I guess my question is really like where are you going to eat whenever you leave here? Is it all yeah? Okay. Yeah. Right. Good. That's the flavor of full service restaurant that we certainly had in mind, and we have contacts and relationships with those brands. So they would have been the first people that we called whenever we do start construction on the project. And it'd be easy to say or ask rather, why wouldn't you guys go ahead and make those calls now? We've done this before, and what we have found is that people really don't listen to you until they see activity on site. So you got to start moving some dirt before people start getting in their cars and paying you a visit, which is fine. But that's exactly what we need to happen in order to really build traction with those conversations. Yes, ma'am.
So, weird question. If you were just building a hotel site without the restaurants or the other buildings, how many acres would you need? That's my first question. My second question is, what does a development like this cost? What is the expected cost of it?
This hotel site ended up being 2.186 acres, I think. Historically, we've built on anything from,
Half an acre up to 3.
we've developed in Metro Atlanta on half an acre.
So 3 or 4 acres would be ideal.
Yeah. Almost too much. 4 acres is just about too much. If you're building just a hotel,
Yeah, you can see
it's 2 to 3 acres is really a sweet spot, or an acre and a half to 3 acres.
But with the master development, are you going to develop the entire 11 acres?
No,
The civil part of it?
so this is 4.5 acres, what we see here. And we're envisioning the project as happening in phases. Phase 1 would be the hotel development. So utilities will be delivered to the hotel. We will tap into those utilities. We'll go vertical. Paved roadways will be delivered to the hotel. Stormwater is going to be installed so that when users do come in on the restaurant spaces, they can tap into stormwater that we're already tapped into. But generally speaking, that's the first phase. The second phase will be to leave the 2 restaurant sites as greenfield or grassed sites, have conversations, let the end users most likely purchase the sites and then self-develop.
You said,
The land behind it's not developable. It's not able to be developed.
That's right. Everything south of that is,
there will be the utility and all that stuff will be delivered. Is that what your civil engineers will be delivering it, or city is doing that?
we're working with the WPDA to plan the delivery of utilities from 10th Street to the hotel site. So the Development Authority will facilitate the delivery of those utilities. Our civil engineers are going to pick up all planning at the property line. We'll work in conjunction with the Development Authority as the delivery is planned and executed. But in terms of scopes of responsibility, Development Authority is going to deliver utilities, deliver 2 paved roads. We're going to take over everything at the property line. So when you think about cost, we really try to isolate it to just the hotel site. Mm-hmm. Overall, the project could end up running, well, let's just start with the hotel, $20 million for the hotel project.
So about 160 a key, 220 a key.
186 a key. Yeah.
186. Wow.
Does that seem high or low?
It actually seems a little low.
It's a little bit higher, the area, so.
But for Fairfield.
Well, we also have the benefit of a flat site now that's been demolished and cleared, and so that portion of the budget is excluded. And that the land itself, of course, is excluded from a cost perspective, which helps, which starts to drive that number a little bit lower than.
That's a great point. Site work is going to be, our site work costs are way minimal because of the delivery of utilities and access. But yeah, I'd love to go over your thoughts on that budget.
We're also going to leave our business cards just as a quick preview for questions, also suggestions. So we had a conversation a minute ago about retail and restaurant uses, and we would love to hear more ideas and whether or not they occur here live in this meeting, but
Yeah,
make
that's
sure
right.
everyone knew that as well.
A development like this for the city of West Point, there are no other hotels right on the exits, right? So this would be the attention attraction drawing to that?
It's a tiny one. You know, like, with the red roof in.
Oh.
Been there forever. And then-
I was gonna say,
Yeah, we consider it an inventory of zero rooms.
yeah,
No,
right.
but, I mean, but that's not the new roundabout, with the new big gas stations, and this is just another addition to that last exit before you got to work.
But to your point, it's made the development of a competitive set for lenders kind of difficult. They say, well, who are you going against in the market? You can't count the Red Roof Fence. And then you say, well, LaGrange, Lynette, who else? Who else?
Just West Point.
So you guys,
Yeah.
like, the same thing that exit 13 is building up, the Marriott Extended Stay?
Town Place Suites.
What's-
Guy on the exit 13, right behind the Jetwell Park.
Yeah, oh, that's a plant,
No, that's the residence inn.
residence in?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is purely extended stay product.
They're gonna build another hotel up there though when they build the pregnancy.
Correct.
Yeah, so what, yeah, and again, when we started this discussion to learn more about the hospitality industry, it's a cluster. So you get one hotel, another one's gonna come. So
Right.
it's just part of their industry and how they operate. So
And it's a good thing because we can get the traffic to come through our cities and stop there versus the paving on our cities.
Kind of ends up working like,
Auburn has just opened 3 new hotels. One of them is not open yet, but will be open the first week of December. The town place of Light.
Uh-huh.
The Element opened this week, and then the AC downtown opens this week. So, I mean, you're talking about a lot of keys.
An AC,
In that, all 3 are Marriott, yes.
an AC in Auburn.
It's in downtown,
How about that?
right next to Auburn Bank.
Wow.
Now,
Yeah, that's inventory. That's definitely
It's a
inventory.
lot of inventory.
I
Yeah.
think getting in at this stage of, because I heard the conversation a while ago, Atlanta and Auburn are going to connect at some point over the next 10, 15 years. I mean, our highway space is taken, so this is a prime location to be the first into.
I think it's perfect.